Hello, hello, hello. See if we can start off with it without it going all janky and crazy. I don't see any bars yet, so fingers crossed. What's good, everybody? It's Saturday, so you already know it's time to get into the final 2 episodes of Invincible. And the man to do it is the man himself, the one, the only, Phantom D. Saint. What's good, brother?
Hey, what's good, DJ? Finally, we made it to the finale discussion of Invincible. Did you think we was gonna do it?
I'm telling you, I did not. At one point, I did not think we were going to make it. I was like, we'd missed too many days. I thought the time was past. And I was like, you know what? This show is just so sweet and so fun and so exciting. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just get into it, break it down, and see what's what. Because honestly, I got a few questions that I want answered. It did not fill in all the gaps. It left some big questions on the wall, and see if we can't put our heads together and see what's what.
The only question I got is still what happened to that mummy episode. It started off with the mummy and they didn't deliver.
Right? I think that's the last thing I typed out. I was like, the only thing they did not bring home was our Scooby-Doo beginning when they brought out Oh Boy, and for some reason they just didn't want to give us not anything to do. It's like, what is up with Kahor? Like, is he coming? Is he taking over the world? Did they kill him? Like, I need to know. You're going to bring up some Kahor and then not tell me nothing else about it. I was like,
Even during like the last few clips when they were showing us all the villains and stuff, not a glimpse at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they took 40 seconds to sew up every single arc that they hadn't tied up yet and let you know that, yep, this is what's probably coming next season. And the one thing that they just can't touch on is our boy, Noah Kahor. Come on. What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. Alan Vanderson, welcome, welcome. You already know it's time to talk about some Invincible. But yeah, we're going to start off with episode 7 before we get to the finale. And we got Debbie waking up to an empty bed, probably feeling somewhat relieved, but it didn't last long as she walks downstairs past that new hole in the wall. And Omni-Man has the blood-soaked suit laid right out there on the counter. Like, what a terrible way to start a morning, you know?
Like, he already knew, like, she was on to him. So, all right, let's just get out the window. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Yep, I killed them all, damn it. I'll do it again.
I took them all out, but they were your friends. I was like, wait a minute. But speaking of terrible mornings, Mark is getting no play with Amber. Like, she won't even let him speak. She has totally had it. I was like, did you think that was really it between those two? Was that going to be curtains for those?
I was hoping so, because when you think about it, she said, I knew you were invincible for weeks. For who knows how truly or how long. I think it was like kind of like months or so, because I don't know, because it was at one point within when it was like, I forgot what episode it was. They were saying like it was months since Omni-Man like killed like that whole league. So I'm like, wow, like for me, I kind of felt like it was like weeks or so. But anywho, and then during that whole college episode, which I despise still, the worst episode of the season, she was like, where did you run off to? How could you just leave us? When he was literally invincible and you knew it. So what was the whole point?
Exactly. So who's lying to who, right? Who's not being honest with who? It's like, come on, let's be real here. And she was not being real with herself. And Debbie asked why, and so we get back to the Grayson household, and Debbie asked, why did Omni-Man do it? And he just replies, you just need to trust me. I was like, are you nuts? Like, how could she possibly trust you right now? Like, was that ridiculous for him to even ask that?
Like, watching that for the first time, I was still 50-50 as to, okay, should I trust Omni-Man, or is this, again, just him lying? That he meant what he did. He wasn't being controlled or anything. Did you have like any inkling, especially like, okay, maybe he's actually good here?
No, never. I was like,
you never trusted him since episode 1.
Not since 1. I came out of Jump Street not trusting this man. You remember? Go back and listen. I was like, man, something's off with this cat. I'm not buying it. And that was before I had even seen the end and all this rest of it. I was like, there's just something off with this cat. You could just tell. But he left like a boss, though, when he just blew through the roof like it was butter. I was like, talk about a drop the mic moment. I was like, God dang. When you're Omni-Man, you do it big.
He probably paid for the house, so he's like, I'll just buy another one.
So Amber just gets dropped off at home, and Mark sees he has absolutely no choice. If he wants any chance at all with this girl, he's just going to have to tell her the truth. So as he tries, she slams the door in his face. I was like, this girl is just giving no love. Like, what? It's like, it's ridiculous. So he flies up to her room and reveals his identity, and she just like she says it's cute that he thinks it's enough, like that's enough for her, and that she figured it out weeks ago. I'm like, now I just hate this character. Like, does she even know what she really wants? Because at this point, I'm just annoyed as hell.
Again, Adam Eve is around the quarter mark. Just fly over. Just fly over.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to deal with this. This girl is nuts. And like you were just saying, she said she knew and figured it out weeks ago. Then what was the charade about all this bullshit about him leaving? He was obviously there trying to save lives and fight this demon monster. What are you so mad about? I can't. I can't with this girl. But then we get over to the globe, and Monster Girl comes home to a surprise party, but by the new Guardians. And Rex even emptied out all the milk cartons and refilled them with beer. And it seems like the new team is starting to gel a little bit. And Monster Girl tells Robot if it wasn't for him that she'd be dead. And he says he'll never let her die. That's kind of creepy in its own way, isn't it? Like, is he going to end up making a clone of Monster Girl so they can be together forever?
Even like Rex said it, it's like, dude, you sound like more and more like a host from Westworld every single damn day. You just gotta dial the creep tone, dial it back.
Yeah, oh, that's just creepy as hell. And they don't even know. I mean, they don't even know what's up with that yet. Like, that hasn't even been revealed. But just the way he said that, like, I'll never let you die. Like, that just makes me think he's going to end up making a clone of her, and those two are just going to live clonally ever after for 1,000 years. So I guess maybe Invincible will have somebody to talk to 500 years from
now. At this rate, yes. And then they'll be fighting over who was like the original lover. Like, I was the original Monster Girl. No, you weren't. I was. At this rate, he might as well just clone Monster Girl, have her age up a bit, and just transfer her subconscious mind over.
Yeah,
Boom,
basically.
problem solved.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's what he's going to do. Like, when she goes to die out, he'll have a clone of her. So maybe she'll die, or like she'll, become the monster too many times, become too young, and he'll just clone another version of this age of her. So those two can be this age together forever. I could just see some creepy shit like that happening. But speaking of clones, Robot starts glitching because he's running too many functions at once, and he's delivering his real self to a new body. And like, he's so creepy and mangled. Like, can you really blame him for kind of wanting to do what he's doing?
Nope. It seems like he's been playing this for quite some time. And
But
I would do the same.
Has he been doing it for a long time, or did he just fall in love with Monster Girl and figure that it was time to do it?
That's what he says, but I think he's been like plotting this for like a minute though, because it's like, at what point you're just gonna be in that mangled body forever? At one point, it's like you gotta transfer over. I think he just needed just an what's what I'm
push some motivation.
Yeah, exactly. He just needed the motivation, and that was it. He was like, okay, I've probably been dodging it for quite some time. Now all the cards on the table. Let's do it now.
Because I mean, he even said later that the thing was never meant to be open. So like, he was planning on spending his life inside that too.
He lying to himself.
He lied to himself. Oh man! So we got Mark wallowing in his own self-pity, and also reveals to William that Omni-Man is his dad. And again, how is this not common knowledge? Like, how can these kids be this just oblivious to what's going on around them? That just killed me.
I don't know. It's just the mustache, I guess. I don't know.
That's just it. He said, "Oh, and that perfect mustache. You see that mustache probably 4 days a week. Like, how do you not put two and two together? I just don't get it. Especially him being, yeah, killing me. But how great was that little analogy Will gave about like the samurai being cut in half while he let half his sandwich slide off into the bag? I thought that was pretty tight. But Donald grabs Debbie to bring her into HQ for her own safety, and she's not happy with him for keeping the truth about knowing Omni-Man did it from her. But Cecil informs her that the only way to stop Omni-Man is Invincible. Like, why in the world would he think Mark would be able to stop his dad at this point?
A Viltrumite has to be able to kill a Viltrumite because he's pretty much been trying for episodes. As we saw within this episode, it kind of explains why we had that college episode. Him trying to figure out a way to kill him. I think there was even that one episode where he was doing something to the blood and like nothing was happening. So at this rate, it's like, as they say, what is it? The father might just, end up replacing the son and all this other crap. Ultron quote.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, he's still so young and so small. And I mean, I guess he realizes like he has no chance, but that's as close to a chance as he has or something. But yeah, Alan, you're right. Omni Man has always been suspect. Absolutely. Oh, Peter Griffin says, I want to see Invincible take out the new Guardian team like Pops did. Giggy. So twisted. Oh, it'd be messed up. But Omni Man is practicing how to tell Mark the whole story while practicing with no one around. He does say that he loves Mark and his mother very much. Like, is that true, or is what he says later that's the truth?
I still think there's truth to it.
You think?
Maybe not at first, but there's truth to it. Because when we saw in the finale, that one scene, I'm like, you know what? He's redeemable.
Oh, he's still redeemable. Okay. But back in the clone room, and Robot's preparing for his new body, and he said like his pod was never meant to be open. And one of the twins asked like what had changed, and he said he's met someone. Is Robot really only doing this because he's crushing on Monster Girl? That's kind of what we just touched about. Like, you think he's just lying to himself? That's not the real. That's not the only reason he was going to do this one way or another, no matter what.
It was love. He needed that motivation. It was love. Damn it.
Love will make you. The woman will make you do it every time. But the clones make their transfer barely, and New Robot says, I can put you back in the pod, and we can both survive and change the world together. But Robot says, no, this is what he wants. He's like, would you make that same choice? Like, would you become a clone rather than live one more day as that real you in that pod?
I want to be in a damn clone. Get out of here. That's not even a question.
He says, that's not even a question. I wouldn't think twice, but I was like, kill the real me. I'm about to be a clone.
I'm curious how he ended up in that form, though. Like, I don't think he was like born that way. I think.
I would think so. Yeah, I would definitely think he was born that way. Absolutely, yeah. But his mind and so like all these other people have powers. He has powers too. He's a super genius, and he's the one. He figured out how to build all these clones and pods and robots and everything else. Yeah. So basically, he does have superpowers. It's just not physical ones.
Tragic.
It is indeed. Eartha Dunn went all, and they had nothing else in the tank. Yeah, exactly. That's all they have is Invincible. It's like that's their only choice. But man, like you already know, like he has no chance against Pops. He's not trained up yet. And I know he said it's what he wanted, but it's still weird. The clone killing the host just minutes after becoming cognitive. Like that was, I mean,
it's just like those twins.
Yeah, but those twins are both clones at this point. Like. Yeah. This was like the clone killing the real host, but the real host kind of, I mean, this is what he wanted. Like he said it was a mercy killing, but I don't know. That whole thing's still kind of creepy as hell to me. It is weird. But the Muller twins waste no time in asking for their payment, and Robot keeps to his word and pays them. Then immediately says it's time for them to go back to prison. Looks like he had a plan all along, but that's still pretty ruthless. Like break them out to help you help you get what you want, and then put them right back in jail. Like Robot has more remorse.
They're gonna have just criminals like roaming around.
So you can break them out to do good for you, and then put them back in their hole. Like they get no love no matter what.
Exactly.
Oh, that's just ruthless.
He's just like Ford. That's where. There we go. He's pretty much Ford. I bet you before he became that mumbled up looking thing, he was William Ford.
Oh man.
Westworld season 4.
He said, "Feel it. It's coming to a theater near you." Oh, that not so little backup plan that Robot had was pretty dope, though. Having himself delivered in like a transformer of himself, like, that was pretty sick. But Omni-Man's trying to track down Mark. Like, how gruesome was that? Like at his house when he sensed the invisible soldiers and just dismantled him. Like, what were they thinking? Like constantly firing those little BB guns at him. You know they're not doing anything. All you're doing is giving away your position. I was like, are they just dumb?
Yep. But hell, he went out. What was it, Cecil's like partner? He went out like a boss.
Oh, dude, that was crazy.
That was so painful. If he was just holding onto his spine, I'm like, damn.
I know you could feel it, right? Like, didn't it make you cringe a little bit? Oh, but what was up with that last soldier? Like, she sucked. Like, she totally gave up Donald and the rest of the crew being in the house across the street. Like, she's all reaching out for Mama. Like, anybody there could have helped. Like, now they're all dead. Great job, soldier. Like, what was that? I was like, you just gave up the ghost with that one. That wasn't very cool.
But we all questioned, like, it was like either a previous stream or so, where he was like, does he have super hearing? If so, he probably just known this entire time, like they were like right across the street.
He didn't though. Like he was like, "You've been monitoring my family." Like he was livid when he found out. He didn't. He obviously didn't know yet. So something was working. But yeah, how scared would you be seeing that blowing up that nuke in his face didn't even phase him? Like, do you think they're all safe just because they're a few feet underground? Like, dude, there's no place to hide at that point.
Nope. Unless they move into a different planet.
Even then, yeah, that's just crazy. But Cecil says they need to find Mark before Omni-Man does, and he's their only hope. And again, why does Cecil think Mark is going to be able to handle this? That's just crazy to me. But Robot and the twins are having it out when Robot receives the apocalypse level priority, so he bounces and leaves the twins there. And like, is it really their lucky day? Did you think they were actually going to be able to go free from there?
Nope. Because it's like, are you sure? Like, one, I was curious if they were never going to find out it was like Robot who actually broke them out. Then he might get in trouble. So just to save his ass, he's like, well, after they helped me, I just put him back in prison.
Yeah.
And Robot took DJ.
But you think, so you think he was going to come back and get him no matter what? He wasn't going to leave the murders just roaming. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think poor little William knew how close he was to getting dusted when he was sitting there talking to Omni-Man. Like, you know he's going to be heated when he sees the top of his car. Omni-Man's just sitting there gripping it, putting holes in the dents. Like,
and he knew something was wrong. Like, why is he now doing this? Just ripped the hood off my freaking car looking for Mark. Like, what's going on?
oh, man, just, yeah, shit your way at that point. But Cecil checks in on the new Guardians and tells them to sit tight. As soon as he hangs up, like, new Robot enters and introduces himself as Rudolph Connors. And the whole team is just tripping and obviously have some serious questions. When Cecil said, bring the hammer down, and he wasn't kidding, like, that space laser seemed to pack a punch, and it took out an entire country's animal kingdom, but didn't stop Omni-Man for more than a few ticks. Like, it basically gave him the world's most expensive nosebleed. Like, at this point, don't you just give up?
Nope. Keep firing.
Obviously, you got nothing if that didn't even phase him. Like, what would he say? Like a world's most expensive nosebleed? It was like $4.9 billion or something. Like, shit.
Ouch.
I'm telling you. But Cecil does find a way to slow Omni-Man down, and he was nice with his teleporting skills. Like, he also seemed to be getting in Omni-Man's head a little bit when he's asking, like, does Mark know you're a murderer? Like, that actually seemed to hurt him a little bit.
Actually, for one point, I thought he was actually gonna catch him, just like memorize how he's just like teleporting. But nope, he just that good with it.
He thought it was going to be curtains for Cecil. Hell no, man. He was nice with his. But the mad scientist makes another appearance, and just as we suspected, Cecil didn't put him in jail. He put him to work, and he's created a zombie super soldier to like battle Omni-Man, but they barely slow him down. Like we saw what 3 did to Mark, and Omni-Man just took down 4 even stronger ones. Like again, how does Cecil? What's that?
With ease, he took them down.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, just surrender at this rate. Just surrender.
Yeah, and yet Cecil still thinks somehow Mark's going to be able to do something against him. Like, stop it. Just stop it. How are you going to put this kid in like harm's way like that? You know he's got no chance. But Cecil unleashes a new and improved Kaiju on Omni-Man, and this actually seems to be working. Like, it looks as if he's actually done for when Mark and Eve show up just in time for Mark to save his dad, which, whoopsie. So the 2 tag team the Kaiju and are getting the better of it when Immortal shows up with rage and revenge on the mind. And it seems to be like a semi-fair fight until Omni-Man just throws a punch that goes straight through him. Like, as soon as Immortal like lashes out with like one last eye gouging, just all he can do, Omni-Man just chops him in half for the whole world to see as the entire fight's been captured by 2 news helicopters. Like, can you imagine like watching TV and then seeing that unfold?
First he beheads him, then he just chops him in half. At this rate, what's gonna happen to him in season 2? And it's interesting how Cecil now has his body, as we see in the finale, but then the twins were like, well, he's not smart enough to bring him back. So I'm curious now that if Cecil does bring him back, will he do some enhanced stuff to his body to now make him actually compete with Invincible? Because every so often within that first fight and now this fight, it seems like at one point he almost had the upper hand, but then Omni-Man just like kills him.
I think that was just pure rage coming out of him that was like making him step back for a second. Like he was just, he was besides himself. But yeah, Did Cecil not? I mean, he's called the Immortal. He's obviously come back a million times. Cecil seems to be older than time itself. We don't even know what's going on with this man yet. So why didn't Cecil know to like just put his head on the same way he's like putting his body back together now? Like, why did he bury him? Or was he just going to wait and try to pull him up? Like, I don't understand like how those twins knew that they would be able to put Immortal back together, but for some reason Cecil didn't.
Cecil's dumb.
Oh no. Hated the Immortal bring back because he's the Immortal. The name says it all, brother. It's like, of course he's got to do it. Immortal got an Immortal. Oh, Leonidas Immortals will put it to the test. I'm telling you, man. But yeah, I just thought that was weird, like why he didn't put his head back on later. But I guess now that he saw it could be done, now he's going to put him back together again. Like I don't see why he didn't figure that out in the first place. It was kind of weird.
But I still think that him and Immortal and Omni-Man had like some type of past. Because in that first episode, you see Immortal like give Omni-Man that look. Like he knows something is off.
Yeah, he kind of did. Like he didn't like him. But it could just be because they knew like they kept asking him to join the team and he wouldn't do it. So maybe it was just something like that. Like, oh, you think you're better than us? Like, what's up with you? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just sensed that something was off with this man. Dude, after being alive for thousands of years like he has, I'm sure he can sense the evil in just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But while they were fighting, Mark found a way to like single-handedly take down the kaiju by zapping it with a telephone wire. And then Mark looks up to see his dad kill Immortal, and his dad just turns around very calmly and says, "Mark, we need to talk." Fade to black.
Name of the episode.
Dude, that was so dope. Like, we don't even get a bonus scene on this one. They're just going to end that shit right there.
And just how there was like no music, they just wanted that scene to just settle down because they're about to get ready for the finale. And that was a one crazy finale.
Oh, dude,
I don't think they were compared to like any other episode. I think that was the one that had like the most gore and blood throughout the entire thing.
This whole series has more gore than any cartoon I've ever seen. Like, this is just gnarly. They're sick with it. And I agree, Alan. The setup for future seasons is absolutely excellent in this. They did a great job. Everything except for my Scooby-Doo beginning that I got no ending on. I need to know what's happening with Carr. It's messed up. That's messed up. Oh, man. But earlier, Cecil had said that, like, he's a great liar, but that he's got nothing on Omni-Man. So if Omni-Man is such a great liar, are we ever going to be able to trust anything that comes out of his mouth from this point forward?
Within the finale, yes. And then something happened. I was like, yeah, he's redeemable.
I can't wait till we get to that part because I don't see nothing redeemable. Like, it was messed up. Thank God the finale started right where it left off and didn't skip over the talk. Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, and we're about to get into it. Oh, but real quick before we get into it, what's up? Do you remember how old did Robot say he was?
Wow.
And anybody remember how old did Robot say he was?
I can't remember that. I know it could have been like he's like old because I would have been like, wow, he's been that old this entire time. So I don't know.
All right, for everybody watching, put it down later. Write it down below in the comments if you can.
No, I gotta look this up. I won't know the answer, but I gotta look
it up. Yeah, if you look it up, don't say it. But how old is Robot? And the second question, what did Robot say his real name was?
Isn't it William Randolph or something like that?
Something like that.
Or Rudolph, wasn't it? I can give you Rudolph. That's it.
There you go. Oh man, you guys are all over it, but nobody's hit it exactly. Peter Griffin and Alan Vanderson both right there, but just haven't hit it exactly. That's amazing. You guys are close. That's awesome. Oh yeah, so for everybody, write that down in the chat if you know the answer. How old is Robot and what's his real name? Write that down in the comments later, and if you guys get that in the chat, I'll let you know if you are correct. But right now, it is time to get into the finale. Click this one. Save that one. Boom. And the finale is called Where I Really Come From. And fittingly, this week opens just raining blood as like the recently bisected Immortal's body parts plummet from the sky. And this is so gruesome, yet perfectly on brand with this series, like we were just talking about. Like, it's also getting us prepared for much and more to come because this episode was not for the faint of heart. Like, what do you think? Like, Where did this episode rank for you, like against all the other ones?
Oh, this was like the favorite episode in the entire season by far. It was like this one and the previous one.
Oh, it's
Like
absolutely,
episode 8 and 7 are probably like the highest.
absolutely amazing start. And Mark sees his dad freshly covered in Immortal's blood and understandably freaks out. And he figures somebody must be controlling him. He's horrified to find that, nope, it's just his father, and he fully knew what he was doing. In last episode, Cecil told us that Omni-Man is a masterful liar, and he says now that he's telling Mark the truth about Viltrium. Like I said, can we trust anything he says? You think so, though, huh?
Yeah, he's telling the truth. And you called that like within like the first stream. And that was like before the finale. You're like, he's not being true about his people's
Oh,
origin and thing. And I was like, damn, you know it was right.
right out of the gate, he was suspect. We called a few things in this. Yeah, no, he was suspect right from Jump Street. So absolutely, we knew that he wasn't going to put the old boy in jail. He was going to put him to work. And if we see the last episode that he did, he's making a bunch of more of those crazy zombie robots. What's up, Jay Cruz? I see you out there, buddy. What's good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, it's gonna be. We called a few things so far, but yeah, there is no way that you could tell he was full of shit when he was talking about his old self before. But that's why, I mean, if he was lying then, how do we know that he's not lying now? That's my whole thing. I don't trust anything this man says.
Oh, then the what was it? Seth Green, his
Yep.
character, like he
So,
kind of confirmed it.
yeah, and that's another thing we got to talk about is some things with him like that don't really make sense. But
Actually, I remember in that previous stream, I was like, it's funny how he keep on coming to Earth. He keep on thinking it's the Earth with a U, but then it was wrong. So there should have been the person who was supposed to originally be assigned to Earth then come and then like report back or something. And then they learned that it was like a planet Earth had a Viltrumite on it. They just didn't go. So that would
yeah,
explain it then.
right. But they may have known that Viltrumite was on, or that Earth was on the Viltrumite plans all along, and so they may have never been coming to Earth because they didn't even want to deal with it. Like they know they had no chance, so they're just sidestepping that one. But yeah, I don't know. That's crazy, but yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, he said one thing, and now it seems like it's another thing. And basically, why is he coming and saying that he's coming to warn that there's a Viltrumite on Earth when didn't he already fight Omni Man?
I don't
Like,
think he ever fought him. I think he fought like other heroes, but then Cecil was gonna ask Omni Man, but Omni Man was probably gonna say no to him, so that's why he asked Mark to do it.
I got to go back and watch that because they made it sound like Omni Man fought him last time, and he was like, "Oh, it's no big deal. Mark can handle him. He's no
Yeah, I
big
think it was
deal."
like the Guardians who mainly like fought him.
So it must have okay. It must have been that. I get it because I was like, "Why is he tripping about the Viltrumite when he's already fought him before?" But if he didn't, then I guess that makes sense. But the way it looked to me, like it wasn't so much survival of the fittest back on Viltrum, but it was basically who was the sneakiest because it looked like a lot of stabbing in the back to me. It looked like half the people that were getting got like took somebody down head on, and then somebody like stabbed them in the back and killed them. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like a great or peaceful or righteous people to me.
I have to be there in that board meeting when they decide to come up with this plan.
Yeah.
Like kill the weak and like the strong will survive. I'm like, at what point? Like what something had to traumatically happen for them to make that decision.
Or they never did, and he's full of shit. And he's lying about this. He's absolutely lying about this. That's what I'm saying. It's just, I don't trust a word this man says. Or history is written by the winners. So they could be taught a whole history that's full of shit. Like, oh, yeah, this is how it was. Like, no, it wasn't. I mean, shit, our history is messed up. They don't teach us everything in the right way. So history is written by the winners. So who knows what's real? Like I said, I'm not buying any of it. But I was wrong. I thought Omni-Man had lived through the civil war of his planet, but he said by the time that he was born, Viltrium was already the greatest empire in the galaxy. So he was taught his history just like we are. And like I was just saying, history is written by the victors, so they could have taught him a bunch of lies.
So he didn't kill his mom and father.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we don't even know. We just know his parents are gone, but we don't know why they're gone or what happened.
And you still think he killed them?
I think he did kill him. Yeah, I think I do. I think he absolutely waxed poetically on his own family, and he's the last one alive. And they probably kicked him out of Viltrum. Like, you can't be here. You're too evil for this place. Like it's probably all peace. Dude, we're probably gonna find out like Viltrum's like all peace and loving and all everybody's all happy, but this guy's like some side effect and like he's just some asshole that wants to kill. So they basically banished him from the planet. So now he's the one going planet to planet, like killing everybody and doing shit. And speaking on that note, since he says like he's like 17 years is a blink of an eye, like this is nothing to me. Do you think he's been on another planet and had another family? Like, do you think there's any way he's got another son out there and like already planted that son on that planet? And now he's moved on to Earth and he's the one doing that, like going planet to planet, putting a Viltrumite, like getting somebody pregnant? Because he says, you know, you're not really half. Basically, our blood is so pure that you're basically 1,000% Viltrumite. So you think he has any other family on any other planets?
I did question that. Like, was he like the first? Like, was Earth like the first planet he was like ever assigned to or not? Because it kind of sounded like the whole like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 thing, sort of, where Ego was kind of like just going planet to planet and is having kids left and right.
Exactly. So that's what I'm like. It makes me wonder, like, is Earth the first place he's been, or does he got other fam and done other things other places? But Omni-Man joined the war effort when he was old enough, and we see one of the planets he conquered was where Alan the alien comes from. And Alan said he had tested Earth. That's what I was talking about. Alan said he had tested an Earth hero before Mark. Is like, and Mark didn't even come close to as good as that guy was. So
He
they
probably
made it
was
sound like
immortal.
his dad. Yeah, it could have been immortal. But yeah, they kind of made it sound like his dad. But now he's saying that he doesn't even know that he was there, so it must not be. So yeah, immortal's a good guess. He could have been immortal. But Mark's devastated with what his dad's telling him, and Omni-Man says, "This is good news. We can finally do what we were meant to do, be who we were meant to be." Like, does this all mean that if Mark would have never received his powers, that Omni-Man would have never gone through with it all?
And that's why I questioned that one scene in that first episode, the moment where Mark like revealed like, yeah, I have like my powers, and he just like gave us that look.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, damn, well, now that he has his powers, maybe I have to like, move up with my plans now. Seems like he was just chilling, but that was like the spark. And we're okay, I gotta do something.
Oh, Peter Griffin says he is what 2000, so Mark may have another brother somewhere. That's what I'm saying. He could have fam other places. Alien polygamy.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. But Omni Man tries to make it sound like it's all good, and but if he really has like medical technology that's like light years ahead of what we have, why wouldn't he have already shared it?
Well, he's pretty much like waiting until his rest of his people come, and then they start sharing it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because before we start sharing our good resources, you have to bend the knee.
Bend the damn knee. Like our knees do not bend.
Dang, sound like a damn Targaryen now.
Yeah, I know it. Was that not one of the coldest lines in cartoon history, though, when Omni Man said that Mark's mother was more like a pet to him?
I was like, bro, of all things to say, you're gonna say that, and it's even more crazy because she's actually listening to this whole conversation too.
So brutal. So brutal, dude. I could not believe it. I was like, what the hell? So then that just, I mean, an enraged Mark tries to step up, but he's truly no match for his father. And his dad just gives a little sigh, like, I didn't want to have to do this, but, and then just proceeds to beat the living daylights out of that boy. I was like, oh my God. And then when Mark saved that pilot and Omni Man just squishes his head like a grape, I was like,
Oh,
where's
that took me out of it. I was like, come on now. Like you could allow him to save him, then just walk away. No, like he was just teaching him a lesson like throughout the entire episode. Just killing and killing. Every time he tried to save someone, just kill them more. It was like, oh, come on, man. Just stop it. Like he got the point. He got the point.
Oh, so brutal. So brutal. Oh, Sick Jake says Animal Farm, you knocked up your pet. Oh, that is just, yeah, exactly. But Mark screams, you killed him, and Omni Man says, now or in 50 years when he's old, what's the difference? So is the Viltrumite attack still 50 years away? Why did he, I was just weird like he said it like that.
I'm curious as to like when this attack is gonna happen. Because like he's been on Earth for like a little over 17 years or so, give or take. Because
Yeah,
his mark is 17. I'm not sure how long did he like met his wife.
Exactly. How long until they got busy and had him? So, I mean, yeah, he's probably been here for at least 20 years, but I don't know that. I mean, it could just be that the guy's 30 and he's saying that the guy's going to be dead by the time he's 80 anyway. So that's why I said the 50 years. But I don't know. I was just wondering if that was a little clue to like when the attack is coming. But Mark tried to save that lady and her daughter. And why didn't he just fly them away when he felt the building slipping? Like, that was kind of gruesome.
And then I thought that he was gonna save them, and then it just fell. And then he looked at the what was it, a hand or an arm? I was like, ah.
Oh, it was brutal. So brutal.
And then the train, he just picked them up and just like right through the train. I'm like, damn, he could have been like Spider-Man and try to save the train of people. Nope,
No, it was, and
dead.
that train scene is one of the most brutal scenes ever created in film, dude. Like, how could a father be so brutal to a son? Like, that was just ruthless.
Because the force alone that you have to like go through the train and through everyone within the car.
Oh, just bathing him in the blood that he's like just lopping of the heads of people, and oh yeah, it was insane. That was an insane scene. I was like, what? I didn't think it could get any worse. I'm like, this is outrageous. But he had me hook, line, and sinker. Like I couldn't look away. But just when we thought the beatings couldn't get any worse, they do. And Omni Man, like, he was just relentless. Like, I'll give it to Mark. Like, he's got the heart of a hero, but not the brains. Like, you're obviously beaten. Just lay down and try again later with a new strategy. But he just keeps getting up and getting bludgeoned. I was like, oh my God.
He just reminds you of like Kick-Ass in a sense. I'm not sure if you ever saw Kick-Ass before, where it's like the same thing with that hero. He just gets beaten and he gets back up, gets beaten and get back up.
Oh man, like I said, the heart of a hero, just not the brains. But it was just like, it was ridiculous. Mark didn't let go of that arm though. He held on to it. Oh, it was sad. That was just so gnarly. But when his dad punched him so hard in the chest that it like caused an avalanche and then covered himself in his own son's blood while like just literally beating him to death, saying, "Oh well, I'll just have another son and try again in another 17 years." Like,
That was oh my gosh. Like imagine that. Like imagine you have a kid and the kid disappoints and like, oh, I'll just try again and just kill him.
as you're just beating him to death, like bathing in his blood. I mean, it was insanity.
But I do love the memes coming from this season finale because people be putting up stuff like, "Oh, my kid doesn't like Marvel." Oh, I just like start over, have another kid. People just put like so much stuff in there. I'm just like, this is amazing.
Oh man, too ruthless. Oh, I can't do it. But as he's beating the socks off Mark, he starts to remember the lessons in humanity that his wife has taught him through the years. And this combined with Mark's last words while conscious, like, you, Dad, I'd still have you. That actually seems to break through to him. And Omni Man starts to well up and then takes off into space. And where do you think he's going?
That is a good question. One part of me is like, he's gonna go back to his people, or he's going somewhere else just to chill down, just cool down, rethink everything.
Again, I mean, he said Cecil said he was on a straight projection, so it makes it sound like he's going someplace far away. But I mean, is he going back to Viltrum to tell him like we just need to do this now? Is he going back to Viltrum to say like something's wrong with the planet and try to save him from maybe try to get that planet taken off of their radar?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going back to another planet that he has another family to that he's going to go talk to? Like, where's this man going? Is he going to get recruits to come back? Like, screw it, it's time to take it over now, and I'm about to do it. Like, inquiring minds need to know, where is this man going? Oh man. Jay Cruz says you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Dude, he bounced quick. I want to know where he took off to. But when he returns, like I said, I wonder if he's going to be alone or if he's going to have somebody. Like, I can't wait. I'm super excited for next season.
But before that scene, that's where we get like his own redeeming moment. Like you get that whole flashback when he's saying like "Think, Mark, think," and like before then, he has that flashback as to like when his like wife was talking to him because at one point he's like, "Oh, why am I even here for?" It's like I could just be in the sky, have a great view. But then she was like talking about like humanity, and I think because of that is where it's like Omni Man is he's different from the other Vulture Mites now. because it seems like they're all just like brainwashed from the moment they were born about, okay, this is how you're supposed to live. Because he, he just was it on Earth, became humanized, boom. That's it. And that's what I think is gonna be redeemed there.
Yeah, he beat the snot out of his
Because
boy.
he could have just easily just killed his son again, like start over,
But he
bring
did
down the
kill
Armada, but he
so
did it,
many.
and then he just like flew away crying.
Yeah, after killing hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
Hey, just like in Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta started being a villain. Good. He even killed random people, and they still love him. We still love him.
Oh, too much, too much. But the new Guardians of the Globe, like, they know they couldn't do anything to help Mark, but they're done sitting around doing nothing. So they decide it's time to get out there and save as many lives as they can. And due to all the carnage that's left from the brawl, they figure they can help in some way or another. So they get out there. And one ray of light, it was nice to see that Art was still alive. Like, I was kind of 50-50 on that. Like, I didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
And
So it's
that
cool to
news
see.
report, it was like 1,000 died. That was reported or so. But then all of that, I'm just like, yikes.
That was crazy. It was lucky too, because after that ass whooping, Invincible's definitely going to need a new suit. Like, it's a good thing Art's still around, because my man is going to need some help after that. And I was,
You think he's gonna make it?
I was impressed Debbie held it together that long. Like, she waited until she was out of Mark's room to lose it. Like, can you even imagine the mind state of this poor woman after dealing with all this?
Mm-hmm. She probably should be on suicide watch, honestly. Or you brought up in a previous stream, like she could be pregnant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if she's pregnant, the emotions would be tenfold. Like, she's really going through it. So I really feel for this lady. I don't know. They made it so many different like little nods to how freaky deaky they're always getting, and Mark always walking in on them, and how just like, frisky and sexually active they were. Like, why would they have all that in this if she's not going to end up being pregnant? Like,
And definitely, if she has a kid, Cecil wants that baby.
oh, of course he does. Of course he does. But yeah, in my mind, it's a no-brainer. Like, she has to be pregnant. I thought Skywalker Art was a goner. You and me both, brother. I thought he was done. Oh, no, only the first one. After
Oh, you
that,
saw an episode?
what?
You saw an episode of Mighty Ducks?
Oh, they have a thing. I didn't know it was a series. I'm sorry. I just saw the first movie. Yeah, I didn't even know they had a series of it out. I didn't know that was a thing. Is Emilio in it?
I think so.
Wouldn't he have to be? Come on. Oh, and the emotions. So the Guardians get back to HQ all exhausted, and Rex decides like he's had enough of that blood-soaked reminder. And as he goes to clean it, Black Samson jumps up and says they haven't earned it yet. And I was with Rex when he was like, "Seriously, fuck off!" Like, the other Guardians seem to feel the same way. And then Black Samson decides like, "Okay, now we look like a team." Like, I just thought this whole exchange was dumb as shit. Like, why?
Yeah, it
Why would
wasn't
you put it in
needed.
there?
Even like at one point, the moment the others were getting ready to fight him, he's like, "Oh yeah, now it's here." I think he just said it just to save his ass, honestly.
Yeah, because he kind of grabbed him kind of hard, like he was ready to truly stop him, and then he turned and saw everybody was about to whoop his ass. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just joking. Yeah, now we're a team." Like, I don't know, that whole thing just seemed off to me. I didn't like it. I wouldn't have found that scene. But Mark's friends are worried about him, and they come in and check on him, but he hasn't been home since the incident. And it was funny to see like William worried about blowing Mark's cover with Eve, like still not realizing that she's a hero too. It's like that's kind of a running gag at this point.
And it's funny, looking back at the college episode, Invincible, like Mark, he was like in his suit. He was just staring him in his face. He's like, "Wait, Mark?"
And he had a
Like,
mask on.
exactly. So look, when the kids like, oh my, again, like this show, I don't know.
Too convenient at some points. But Cecil takes Mark on a little tour of the facility, and he shows him the trick with light he uses to enable the tap water we all drink so conveniently. I was like, that was kind of a funny little nod to all those conspiracy theorists that always think there's something in the water.
Because there is something in the water. Don't drink the tap water, DJ. Don't do it.
Oh, believe me, we got all filtered water around here. I've always done that tip. That's crazy. But as soon as Mark got home and out of sight from others, he immediately levitates and says, much better. Is he becoming more comfortable with his powers and himself as a Viltrumite? Like, is he going to end up seeing the truth of what his father was saying this whole time as time goes on?
Don't say it, DJ. Don't say it.
I
He's half human, half Ultramite now. He ain't a full blown one.
That was just so weird. Yeah, but his dad says that the blood's so pure that he's basically just 1,000% Viltrumite. But it was just weird. Like the second they were out of sight and got inside, he just instantly started levitating. He was like, that's better. Like almost being Viltrumite is more his natural state now.
Maybe.
Oh shit. Like that, it's gonna be if he starts turning and starts aging and turning like his dad, that'll be crazy. Mark checks an empty fridge, much like the empty hole left in his heart by his father. Tells him he tells his mom like he's gonna order something for dinner, and when he goes to ask her what she wants, if she wants some pizza, he sees her all curled up, bawling on the bed, and I'm like, this is a pregnant woman that doesn't know what she's gonna do. That is just crazy. And then Amber shows up and admits like to figuring out the truth. Now she's all Detective Amber, ready to help with all the hard cases. And what's really changed so much that brought her back? Like just because she sees she wasn't the only one being lied to. Like I'm still just annoyed with this character.
Mark, I don't know why you're gonna take her back when you got Adam Eve right there.
Right there. I mean, Amber's a little hottie too, but god dang it, like you're just too much of a head case. Which again, that can be fun too, but man, to a point. Come on, you got Eve. She can make anything you want on a dime instantly, right there. That's pretty fun. But Debbie shows up at Art's crying, still in disbelief. Like she says she wishes he'd come back. And I'm like, why would she wish that he would come back? Why would she say that?
Closure.
Dude, after you just saw what he did to your son and you want him back, knowing there's nothing here that can stop him, you want him back? Are you out of your mind?
Well, he could have killed him, like you said, start all over, but he didn't.
Oh, that's ruthless. Well, Cecil calls Mark and says something's heading towards Earth. And if it is Omni Man, like, what was Mark going to be able to do about it? Like, we already saw what happened. What's going to change now?
Nothing.
Nothing. He's going to get the brakes beat off him again. But when Mark heads off into space, Eve decides it's as good as time as any to like reveal that she's a superhero too. And it was just funny how like blasé Will and Amber were about it. Like even like getting
He
her
called her a duplicate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like Amber, the master detective with all things, but I mean Mark, even after being told they can't even see that it's Eve, like come on.
Even looking back, it was at that one scene where Amber was looking at both Adam and Mark. I was like, okay, is she getting the hint that both of them are superheroes? But nope, not at all.
But she's a master detective, so come on. But the space threat ended up being a return of Alan the alien, called another one. He made a return, and when Mark's there, he's there to warn Mark that there's a Viltrumite on Earth, and Mark tells him the story, and Alan can't believe it. He says the Viltrumite leaving their post is unheard of. Like, it's truly blowing his mind. He says the Coalition will want to hear about this as soon as possible.
See, a humanized Viltrumite being redeemed.
Oh, is there really any redemption? I don't know.
And thinking back to this now, it seems like they don't like the moment like their forces are dwindled, they don't even like leave and report. They just like stay there, I guess, on the planet, and then just like give like some type of message or signal, and then the Armada comes or something. I don't know.
Oh, we could probably just fly up and tell them. I mean, they're so fast; they can get 1,000,000 miles in like 5 minutes. So yeah,
So I'm curious like how this whole thing works.
Yeah, I'm sure more will be revealed in season 2. But Alan warns Mark that if his dad really left his post on Earth, then he can expect even more Viltrumites to show up. He's like, they don't give up so easy. So Mark says he'll be ready. And I'm just like, ready? How are you going to be ready? Like, what are you going to do? And then we get that sick season-ending montage wrapping up most of the loose ends and a sneak peek at what we'll be dealing with next season. But I was glad, like, they really touched on every scenario and literally sewed up every single one except our Scooby-Doo beginning. Like, I don't know. Are we ever gonna know what happens with the resurrection of Kaor?
Who knows at this rate? Who knows?
I don't know what's happening. Peter Griffin says it's Alan's coalition rivals to Omni-Man's Viltrumites. I don't think there's any rivals to Omni-Man's Viltrumites. I don't think they make it sound like there are no rivals. Like the Viltrumites just come in and just handle business. And they were swapping. I don't know though. They were waxing people, and now they have to split up because they're getting spread too thin. And now they're just sending like one to each planet. So I don't know. Now that they're spread so thin, is that maybe a chance that they can be beat?
That's what I'm thinking of right now. It's like if they're this invincible, like what's the point of like sending just everyone to like planet by planet by planet? You might as well just go at once at this rate.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think of this series so far, all in all?
I never heard of it until someone talked about Invincible on Prime. Like, what is that? Low expectations, and boy, it delivered. Boy, it delivered.
Absolutely. It's always nice when you don't overhype something, you have no idea what to expect, and then you get something like this. It was just like, oh my God, I am so excited to see it. And he's already gotten greenlit for season 2 and season 3, so I think it's going to get a lot better.
Cal Horse probably season 3 at this rate.
Oh man, that'd be a bummer. We need to see something in season 2. You got to tell me something. You just can't bring.
You're gonna see this. It's like a man just walking down the street, green eyes. I'm like, oh, that's him.
We got Kahor. Kahor. Oh, probably my favorite season of the series. Series of the year so far. Definitely. Did I say? I think I saw Mandalorian at the beginning of this year. Mandalorian's pretty dope too. That's a tough one, but this one or Mandalorian are definitely my top 2.
What you mean? I thought WandaVision was.
WandaVision's up there. WandaVision's probably close third, but I don't know, man. The Mandalorian was amazing, and so is this one. But yeah, I guess WandaVision was more fun to like think of the theories. I guess WandaVision might be up there tied for second with it. But yeah, after seeing 7 and 8, it brought it back. Before, when we were doing 5 and 6, WandaVision was better, but this one actually nailed the landing. Like, I finally got a finale I wasn't upset with. So that definitely.
I'm still thinking myself. Probably this is like the first. In terms of new shows, this recurring seasons, I don't know. Like Black Lightning this season, ain't good as the first 3. It ain't good as the first 3.
So yeah, I like this is definitely up there. Definitely a top 3er. This Mandalorian and WandaVision. We'll just.
I have to see Mandalorian. I still haven't seen the first 2 seasons.
Oh my God, dude! That's all there is. The first 2 seasons. You got to get into it, dude. That was so fun. Sick little baby Yoda Grogu. Amazing. Oh, he's so dope. You just fall in love with him instantly. That's why the Bad Batch is so cool, because the little Omni is basically the new baby little Yoda. It's just awesome. Omega. Oh, is that Black Widow movie out yet? Is it? I don't think so. It's not out yet, is it?
What movie?
The Black Widow.
No, not out yet. It's either this month or July or June. It's one or the other. I thought it was going to come out in May, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna be staying. I'm just gonna be watching the cartoon on this one. I'm not gonna be looking at any of the spoilers or watching any of the comic breakdowns or anything like that. Like, I want to be able to keep going and try to guess just show by show what's happening. So I always have a lot more fun with that.
July 9th. There we go. Black Widow movie.
Oh, July 9th?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I'm thinking Omega is an Obi Django clone. Man, I don't know. A lot of people are thinking that she's Force sensitive, but you just can't have the Force without the midichlorians. So I don't know. Maybe you can clone that, but I don't think you can clone that. So I think it's going to be something else. I think she's just like the next level of clone that's these guys found to take up to the next level. Like, they adapt really well, or they learn super quick, or they can just be injected like Neo style, like with stuff, and just instantly know it. That's why she was so good with that taser right away. But yeah, I'll definitely be jumping on and I'll be doing the Bad Batch breakdown of episode 3 here real quick. Hopefully Fandom will catch up and be able to jump on with us pretty soon.
I should be starting tomorrow. I should be able to watch at least 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, there's only 3, so the first episode's like a little over an hour long, and then the other 2 are like 25 minutes long.
Oh yeah, definitely within a day or 2.
So right on.
Depends on how much I get over work tonight.
There you go. Got to get your rest. But yeah, so we'll definitely be on with that. Definitely be back on Tuesday night, and and keep the train going. So we want to thank everybody for coming out today. Hope everybody's having an absolutely fantastic weekend. It only gets better from here. Till we see you next time. You guys be easy.